Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. We are the Cypress String Quartet. I'm Jennifer. This is Ethan, Cecily, and Tom. And for the last 13 years, we've been coming every Saturday, a few weeks before we give this big concert in San Francisco, to share a sort of preview of the music that we're going to be, and talking to you about a number of concepts that we're thinking about. So that was music by Franz Joseph Haydn. How many of you have played Haydn before? Any music by Haydn? So he is really the father of it all. If it weren't for Haydn, we wouldn't have the rest of the music that we have written. We would have gone in probably a different direction, but he really started so many things. It's amazing what an innovator he was. And that's the germ of the idea we're working with this year, is all the amazing tradition that he created out of his own head, pretty much. So that's music by Haydn. The other composer we're looking at this year is Beethoven. Now, Beethoven studied with Haydn. It wasn't a very happy teacher-student relationship, but Beethoven was looking at all the music that Haydn had written and wanted to try it out for his own. And he was rebelling against it, for sure, and innovating in his own way. And we're going to show you, so the quartet we just played for you was in E-flat major. We're going to show you what Beethoven does almost 50 years later, in 1825, with his own E-flat major quartet. So that was the first movement of the Haydn. Here's the first movement of the Beethoven. Let's take a look and see what's changed and what's the same.
So what did you notice about the differences between that Haydn movement and that movement by Beethoven? Yes?
Well, in the Beethoven piece, the melody was shared a lot, like between all the instruments.
And so Beethoven shared the melody. Did you notice that that happened much more quickly than in the Haydn? Haydn shares too, but Beethoven almost has this overlap, and there are often more than one thing going on at a time. Now, people have been doing that for hundreds of years, and really the main point of this fantastic project that we get to do every year called Call and Response is that we take that conversation and we bring it to the present, and we ask a composer to write us a piece of music in response to these older works. And this year, the composer's name is Phillipe Hersant. He's from France. He lives in Paris. He's not here yet. He gets here next week. We can't wait. And he wrote us an extraordinary piece. We're so excited about it. You've heard the first movement of the Haydn. You've heard the first movement of the Beethoven. We're going to play the beginning of the first movement of the Hersant. And it has a completely different kind of sound than these older pieces, but still using the same four instruments, still having elements of this conversation, and definitely having a really incredible impact. So think about what Phillipe might be expressing in this piece, and also listen to the way the instruments play off of each other. This is the beginning of the first movement of his Quartet number 3.
So what do you think, what kind of mood or feeling does that music convey to you?
Well, I kind of felt like there was it was restrained almost, and there was kind of sadness, but also there was like this tension.
Okay, so it was restrained, it was sad, and it was tense.
Yeah.
Like even the sad sound is made with a melody, but this one, it just doesn't sound to have a melody, but it's just like filled with discord.
You don't know what to expect, and he just put so many, a lot of solos. And just interesting backgrounds, and you really don't know where you're going, kind of.
So you heard lots of surprises, and I think it kind of jumps from one thing to another in an unexpected way. And actually, the form of that movement is ABA, in a sense. It comes back to the music that we started with at the end, but it sounds entirely different, right?